Greetings, blessings, all praises be to the Most High Yah, from whom all blessings flow. And I'm back here to have another conversation with you, but this time it's going to be a little different. I'm actually doing a movie review, or my opinion on the movie Leave the World Behind. I know that I'm behind when it comes to this movie, as it is like I think a year or two old, and a lot of people have done commentaries on it, so I'm going to kind of keep this short because there's so many different people who have talked about this movie. But the reason why I haven't watched this movie is just because of that. I've heard so many negative things about it, so many controversial things about it, that I didn't watch it. So I decided to go ahead and just watch this movie to get an understanding of it. And since I shared with y'all the dream I had about Michelle Obama and the urgency that she had for us to get our homes in order, with the urgency she had to teach us to build up these bug out bags to prepare for what event is coming, and because she did co-produce the movie with Barack, and I think his name is Sam Esmail, something like that. So I decided to watch the movie, and it did not disappoint. But the point of view that I got was a bit different. I'm just going to go right into the point of view, what I got from this movie, since there's so many other commentaries, and I'm kind of behind. But what I got from this movie is that Americans are comfortable, and that comfort has led them to tell themselves lies, to be deceived by what they're taught and to obey. And that the number one problem, the first thing, the line of problems for America started happening with slavery. America is being judged for the sin of slavery. That was the initial thing that set off everything in this movie. Okay, was the ship White Lion coming on to a beach, and the beach is called Point Comfort, like a double entendre, that Gentiles are at a point of comfort, that they don't pay attention to what's going on around them, and that the world they live in has been given to them by deceitful people who want them to obey. And they're at point comfort, at a point of comfort where they don't really see that the sin of slavery is about to come crashing into their beach, into their life, into their environment, and there's nothing they can do because they refuse to deal with the sin. They sit and they lay back and they act like everything is fine, but the sin of slavery is steady on coming. The judgment for the sin of slavery is steady coming, and nobody's paying attention but the young ones who know, Rose, that she's attentive and paying attention, and it takes the young ones who know, who are not so deep in the program, to say something's wrong. This sin of slavery, this thing is about to come crashing in on us. And that's what I got, at least. And even to the point where the ship in the movie is called the White Lion. I'm sure most of you already know. The White Lion was a slave ship. It was one of the first to bring the first rounds of slaves in to Point Comfort in Virginia. There's the double entendre, right? They're at a point of comfort, but Point Comfort is an actual location, which is now the Hamptons, right? It's now the Hamptons, and we know about the Hamptons, what it is now, right? And so the White Lion, I wanted to get some information on the White Lion, so to understand about the sin of slavery that America is refusing to deal with. That's going to be the reason for her judgment. The White Lion was an English privateer slave ship famous for bringing the first enslaved Africans to English colonies of Virginia in August 1619. Sound familiar? The frequency in the movie that the only news could come through, the only frequency that worked in this movie on the radio while there was this blackout was the frequency of 1619 yet again. Yet again, America needs to focus on 1619 and the sin and what happened from it, right? To the first set of enslaved people that came here. Right? And history tells us they were called Negroes, and we know what Negro means. Negro means child of David. We understand what Negro means. David's seed specifically changed their names to Negro because they kept being called Negro in their land of captivity. They kept being called black in Spain. So they decided, Spain and Portugal, they said, you know what? Let's just go ahead. You know what? Okay, Negro. So the first group of slaves that came here were David's children. Hence the term, how do we know this? Because they were named Negroes. David's children took on the name Negro. Right? So it says that the White Lion arriving at Point Comfort in what is now Hampton, captained by John Jope, the ship, along with another privateer named the Treasurer, had captured about 50 to 60 African slaves from the Portuguese slave ship San Juan Batista in the Atlantic. So not only was this a slave ship that began chattel slavery, they were they were pirates. They stole people. They stole people from another slave ship, and this is how slavery started here in this country, with a sin on top of a sin, and it came from Portugal, right? Because they were David's seed coming from Portugal. Negroes. Right? So it goes on to say that, let's talk about the origins of the Africans. The 20 to 30 and odd Negroes on the White Lion were initially from the kingdom of Ndongo in the West Central Africa, captured by Portuguese forces and then placed on the Spanish slave ship, the San Juan Batista. And so what's the significance of this, right? The significance in American history as it relates to the slave ship, the White Lion. The arrival of these Africans traded as chattel is widely considered the beginning of the institutionalization of slavery in the English North American colonies. Let's read that again. The arrival of these Africans traded as chattel is widely considered the beginning of the institution of slavery in the English North American colonies. Again, America's sin that they're being judged for is slavery. Specifically, chattel slavery. So why did I have this dream? Why is this important? Because literally we're watching this conversation is still going on right now. You have people like Julian Michaels trying to pass off slavery as nothing. They're trying to take their guilt away by saying, oh, it really wasn't that important. It really wasn't that serious. Do you know that only 2% of white people in this country own slaves? When are you going to get over it? Right? So we're hearing these conversations about them trying to clean out the national libraries, the Smithsonian, of everything as it relates to slavery. So they're still at such a point of comfort that they can wash it. They could kind of sweep it under the rug or whitewash it away. And that just can't happen. They're trying to downplay slavery as just another thing when we know that it's slavery that literally built the stock market as it is. The original trade was slavery. The original trafficking of humans into this country was slavery. And I got from this movie that this is the sin that America needs to pay for because they refuse to answer for it because they're at a point of comfort about it. And we're watching that play out right before us right now. So it's not like it's not like we're saying these things and there's no reason. It's not like it's pointless conversation. It's not like it's a pointless conversation that's being brought up for no reason. We're watching this play out before our eyes right now, literally, right? And it is the beginning of chattel slavery in this country. And that's what I got from this movie, that their point of comfort is about to be disrupted because the issue of the sin of slavery that they refuse to deal with properly and biblically is about to come crushing in. And due to that sin, America is given over to a different number of events and calamities that will keep on happening because the people in this country have been fed deceit, NASA, and been told to obey. They've been deceived. They've been lied to. And they've been told to obey based on these lies that they've been told. And so that's what I got from this movie. And now, that would explain, I'm not going to go into detail about the mother and how she felt about the owners of the house, but do you see that in order for the Gentiles to survive, they had to be grafted in or brought into the home of Hebrews. They had to be brought into the home of the Hebrews, into the home of the tribe of Judah in order for them to survive what was happening. And no matter what happened, even no matter how unstable things got, the Hebrew father was very well put together. He was very maintained. He had order in his home and he was not disheveled. Was he confused some? Yes. But he kind of knew what was happening. So it was him being grounded and having information that helped the Gentile couple to make it through what was happening. Now, another biblical aspect of this movie is the daughter Rose. She is the youngest of her family, and she is caught in a world of medias or television. But even in the television, there was a thing going on about media saying that media is used to deceive, but it also is used to push a point and also to get truth out if you can get through it, right? So Rose, although she is caught up in programming, she can see, because she's so meticulous about how she watches, that there is a moral, there is some truth in these episodes. And she takes that and she begins to understand God is doing something. She tells her mother that she saw it in an episode of West Wing. What's happening is just like an episode of West Wing. The mother's like, huh? What, you watch that? She's like, yeah. It's like the episode when the guy was told that he needed to put a life jacket on because the water was not safe. And he didn't want to listen. He didn't take the life jacket and he went out of the water and started drowning. So he started praying to God. He started praying to God to save him. And then somebody came by and threw him a life jacket. And he said, no, I don't want the life jacket. I'm waiting on God. And he said, okay. And then somebody else came by with a boat and said, hey, I'll pull you in the boat and I'll save you. And he was like, no, I'm waiting on my Father. I'm waiting on the Creator. And then somebody came with the helicopter, lowered a ladder down for him to climb on the ladder and fly to safety. And he said, no, man, I'm waiting waiting on God. And then when he died, of course he died, he said, God, why didn't you? This is a story we've all heard. We've heard this story before. He's like, God, I cried out for you. I did good. I did what I was supposed to do when I was in trouble. I cried out to you and you didn't come. And God said, yeah, I did come. Who do you think sent you the life jacket? I warned you first not to go, but then I sent you a life jacket. You didn't take it. You didn't heed the warning. You didn't take the life jacket. You didn't get in the boat that I sent you, and I sent you a helicopter. You didn't do any of this. You didn't do any of this. You just sat there waiting on God. But I sent you something. And Rose said, I'm tired of waiting. And I'm tired of waiting. She understood that she needed to seek God. She needed to take advantage of everything around her, because this was God saving her. And she was going to find that. She wasn't going to sit there and wait in the water and drown. They could sit here and play if they want to, but Rose said she ain't playing. So they had to look for her. They had to find her. They had to find Rose. And where did they find her in the end? After everybody figured out, they had to get to this specific house that had a bunker in it. But Rose already figured that out. In the end, they all figured out, let's get to this house. And then you see the house in the ending scene. It is the house of thorns. The Thorns. This is the house of the family called Thorns, right? And so you get a close-up of this door that is blood red. And on the door is the thorns. Now, I didn't get this part until I did a fun Bible quiz with my family, where we go to YouTube and we take Bible quizzes to see how many answers we can get right. And one of the questions was, what was placed on Yahushua's head? It was a crown of thorns. And I had just finished watching the movie, so I understood that thorns was on the door, and then I saw it. Rose got behind the door, dripped in the blood of the Lamb, and the door of thorns, where the crown of our King, our high priest, was put on him, so that we can be saved and redeemed. So what is this movie saying? They had to go to the door that was red, blood red, with the thorns on it. And behind this door, when Rose went in it, she's at the table. She's feasting at the table. Feasting at the table on candy and cookies and sweets. Not even her provision. God has provided for her, not just her needs, but her wants. She has all the candy, all the cookies. She eating on Cheetos and Doritos, and she drinking on soda. She done sat there for days. She's just guzzling down. She's like, I don't know where they at. I'm going to drink the soda. I'm going to have these chips. Rose is just chilling. Rose is chilling. And then she begins to go deeper into the house and find a bunker, a door that seals everything off. She finds a way to cut the generator on, so now she has electricity. She goes and opens these doors and finds pantries full of food and water, and a wall full of movies that she can watch and be entertained. Well, she needs nothing. What does this mean? This means that in Yahushua we are completed. Everything that we need is completed within Yahushua. Not just our wants, but our needs. Our needs are completed through Yahushua. So where did the family find safety? They found safety at the Thorns house, the Thorns residence, with the door, the blood red door of the Thorns. So this movie is saying what? We need to seek Yahushua. Cover our family with the blood of the Lamb. We need to find security and safety behind the door of Yahweh, behind the door of Yahushua, and what he has done for us. How are we going to get through this? by covering our doors with the blood of the Lamb, by the one who took the crown of thorns for us to become our king, our high priest. The blood testifies for us over and over and over again, and it still works even in time of peril. And that we need to get behind the blood of the Lamb and stay till the time of indignation has passed, until it's over. That's what I got from this movie. That safety, security, and peace is behind the door, the open door of Yahusha, that we can go in while we can still go in, and he is still able to be found. So what did Rose do? She left the world behind. Another double entendre. Rose left the world behind as the world is left behind. She did what the Bible said to do. Come out of her. This is the meaning of the movie. She left the world behind to get behind the door, the red door, the blood-covered door of the thorns, or the blood of the Lamb, Yahusha. That's what I got from this movie. It's a really, really great movie. For this event that is happening, that we're surrounded on all sides, the only thing that's going to get us through is Yahusha. Right? And all the provision that Yah has given us through Yasha. We've been provided for. But if you're not seeking, if you sit in that water and let everything pass you by, you don't listen to the warning, you don't take the provision, and he's giving, it's not just provision. Each time he was trying harder and harder, harder and harder. The truth of this movie is in the story of the man in the water who drowned because he didn't receive the provision. Yah came over and over again, stronger each time. Is Yah trying to tell you something that you're not listening to? Is he trying to prepare you? Michelle Obama, I'm trying to get y'all, wake up. Wake up. Is there something that you're not paying attention to? Have distractions caused you to turn from the voice of Yah? If so, go into him, and in him you will find everything you need to get through this. Don't be the man in the water that drowned to get to heaven and say, Lord, why did this happen? I was good. Why did you do this to me? And he says, you did this to yourself. I sent you help. I sent you warning. I sent you provision. I gave you time to prepare. I sent my prophets. I sent my children. I gave you the word. You want to watch crazy stuff on YouTube. That's what I got from this movie, y'all. Let's be like Rose. Let's be tired. Let's not sit there waiting. Let's not wait anymore. Let's take this provision. Let's get our homes in order. This is what I got from this movie. Y'all be at peace. Watch the movie again, this time from a biblical perspective, understanding the imagery. Listen to the story that Rose gave about Yah. Get past the cursing, Listen to the story that Rose gave about Yah, and listen and watch the end when you see the blood red door and the thorns. And then what happens when she goes and how she's provided for. Y'all be at peace. All blessings be to you and your families. Until we talk again, which will be soon. A Bible study on the wisdom of Solomon. Just to give you a start on it, I've started studying the wisdom of Solomon because literally I was trying to figure out what is wrong with these people like Julian Michaels and the things that they're saying, and y'all gave me an answer just like that in the wisdom of Solomon. But I got to study it first to make sure that I come across understanding, knowing what I've read, and that I can apply it to what we're going through practically right now in this world, while they're trying to wash slavery away and make these